Okay, let's unpack this.
Let's...
Because the source material you sent over this week, it just doesn't feel like a typical news cycle. It's not incremental.
No, not at all. It feels like we were watching AI development run at, I don't know, an impossible velocity.
That's the perfect word for it, velocity. And that's our mission for this deep dive.
Right. We've been tracking this space for years, but this particular stack of documents, it feels different. It suggests we've moved past the lab and squarely into, well, production reality.
And the regulatory nightmare that comes with it.
And the regulatory nightmare, yeah, all at breakneck speed.
Exactly. So we're going to give you, the listener, a shortcut to understanding the three massive trends that are all intersecting right now.
We've broken it down into 3 domains. First, what we're calling the capability war.
So new models, both proprietary and open, that are just setting unbelievable new benchmarks.
Then there's the agent revolution. This is the big shift.
Yeah.
AI isn't just a chatbot anymore. We're talking autonomous agents in production, automating really complex work.
And finally, number 3, the societal collision.
Yeah, this is where the friction is. The huge copyright battles, government and military adoption, and that undercurrent of financial uncertainty. Is this a bubble?
It's a dense, urgent conversation. So let's just jump straight in. The capability war. Okay, let's start at the very top. The proprietary frontier. The chatter around OpenAI's reported GPT 5.2 suggests they've made a fundamental leap.
It does, and it's in an area where LLMs have always, kind of struggled, rigorous abstract thought.
Right. What's so fascinating here is that the gains aren't just about summarizing faster or knowing more facts.
No, the early reports point to these huge strides in mathematical reasoning, and the one detail that really stood out to me was the claim that it solved a Key-Colt 2022 open problem.
Okay, let's pause on that. A Key-Colt open problem. Why does that matter more than, say, just acing a standardized math test?
Because it signals genuine discovery. A standardized test is mostly about retrieval, following known steps.
Following a pattern.
Exactly. An open problem in computational learning theory, that requires generating a totally novel, verifiable proof. The model is moving from just being a great reasoner to being a partner in actual academic discovery.
That is a foundational shift.
It is a shift in autonomy and rigor.
And the reports also mentioned its strength in coding and design, with a rumored pro version for more advanced academic work. So that's the high end pushing forward.
It is, but the proprietary companies aren't the whole story here. We have to look at this powerful counter strategy that's happening in open source.
Spearheaded by NVIDIA.
Spearheaded by NVIDIA, yeah.
And that's such a strategic play. They're positioning themselves as not just the hardware everyone needs, but as a champion of openness.
Absolutely. They released the Nemotron 3 family, and it wasn't just, here's a model.
No, it was the whole package. The data, the code.
The reinforcement learning environments. It's a huge commitment to transparency.
I have to ask, though, is this pure altruism? Or is it a strategy to make sure everyone needs more of their H100s to run these things?
I mean, that's the tension, right? They're definitely solidifying their place at the bottom of the stack, but they are also pushing the technical limits in a way that helps everyone. Look at the architecture.
It's a hybrid Mamba transformer MOE model.
Right. And for listeners who aren't deep in the weeds on architecture, what does MOE really mean here?
MOE is mixture of experts. So think of it like a team of specialists instead of one big generalist.
That's a great way to put it. Instead of one giant model processing everything, the system only activates the experts it needs for a specific task.
So it's more efficient.
Way more efficient. And that's key, because Nemotron 3 is winning benchmarks with only 3 billion active parameters. It's all about specialized performance.
We're also seeing that with Xiaomi's Molmo V2 Flash. I mean, 309 billion parameters, a 256K context window. The speed of iteration is just staggering.
Which is why we desperately need better ways to evaluate them. The old benchmarks just can't keep up anymore.
They can't. We're seeing new tools like FrontierScience and that preview of ARC AGI 3 with its 100-plus human-solvable environments.
And Google and DeepMind introduced the FCTS suite for end-to-end factuality testing.
This focus on rigor, it's not just academic, is it?
No, it is absolutely essential for business. Because even with all these amazing breakthroughs, solving math problems, new architectures, you have to remember what Google reported.
That even their top models, like Gemini 3 Pro,
still only reach about 69 to 70% factual accuracy.
That 30% gap is the critical warning label for the entire industry.
Exactly. The models are powerful. They are capable of genuine discovery, but they are emphatically not infallible sources of truth.
And if you're building a business on top of that.
That 30% error rate is a massive financial or professional risk. And that risk gets even more urgent when we shift from using models to retrieve information to letting them take autonomous action.
Which brings us right to our second massive trend, the agent revolution.
And we really need to underline the pivot here. The sources all seem to agree that the most powerful systems of the future won't be these single monolithic LLMs.
Right, the thinking is moving toward orchestration layers.
Exactly. Adaptive multi-agent systems that coordinate specialized models to get a job done. The agent economy isn't a sci-fi concept anymore. It's here.
And you can see it playing out in the financial markets first. Just look at Databricks.
That valuation is enormous.
$134 billion, with a nearly $5 billion run rate. And that's largely fueled by their services like Agent Bricks.
It's a huge signal. The market is saying that automated agentic workflow is the highest value part of the data stack right now.
And it's not just for massive for-profit companies. Salesforce just rolled out Agentforce Nonprofit.
Which is fascinating. Bringing these advanced agents to automate things like grant reporting for organizations that are often totally strapped for resources.
The capability is also being democratized through open source. IBM's CUGA agent, for example, automates enterprise workflows by writing and executing its own code.
And that's where the risk skyrockets.
Of course.
The moment an AI starts executing code on its own, well, that's why we're seeing tools like Lamy Index's Agent FS.
To put some guardrails in place, stricter permissions.
You have to. You can't just give a system that's 70% accurate root access to your entire network.
Now let's get to what I think was the aha moment in this whole stack of sources. The place where the efficiency of agents just becomes undeniable.
Cybersecurity.
Cybersecurity.
I agree completely. The results from AI agents in penetration testing, they are just stunning. Stanford's Artemis agent and this other tool, Shannon.
They're outperforming most human hackers in controlled trials. They are finding more vulnerabilities.
And here's the detail that should make every CISO listening just stop in their tracks.
The cost.
The cost. Artemis was operating at just $18 an hour.
$18. Compared to a human expert who might charge hundreds per hour, the ROI is just, it's not even a contest.
The speed and the return on investment, it's undeniable. But the risk that comes with that power is equally massive.
Right, because security experts are now warning about what they're calling the Internet of Agents.
This is a concept you really need to grasp. The idea is that machine-to-machine traffic will soon surpass human internet traffic.
Because all these agents will be running tasks in the background, grant reports, code generation, pen testing.
Exactly. And that volume of automated traffic opens us up to entirely new threats. Think about adaptive botnets that can change their attack strategy in real time way faster than any human team could ever react.
It's the ultimate double-edged sword. And just to show how nimble these agents are, we saw demos of an agent controlling a real browser to play and win tic-tac-toe.
With no manual scripts, no human intervention, just pure autonomous digital dexterity.
And that move from a theoretical model to a self-guided digital worker doing high-value, high-risk tasks, that's what sets the stage for our final segment.
Because the second AI touches value, it inevitably clashes with society.
And the first, maybe the loudest point of collision is copyright.
Oh, absolutely. Content creators, IP holders, they are understandably furious about their work being used to train these models.
And the legal system is starting to react pretty aggressively.
It's really intensifying. We saw Disney issue a cease and desist to Google.
Right, alleging that Gemini AI was generating unauthorized content with Disney IP.
And then separately, Disney and Universal also filed lawsuits against Midjourney for using their characters.
So on the surface, this looks like a clear battle. Creator rights versus big tech.
It does, but then you see the paradox, the big partnership paradox that reveals what's really going on.
The OpenAI deal.
The OpenAI deal. While they're suing those other companies, Disney turns around and strikes a massive $1 billion deal with OpenAI to license its characters for Sora.
So what does that tell you? They're suing one company while paying another $1 billion for basically the same thing.
It tells you that the major IP holders know this technology is inevitable. They're not trying to kill it.
They're trying to control the revenue stream.
Exactly. The lawsuits are leverage. They're trying to force licensing agreements to make sure they get paid. It's a pivot from fighting the tech to cashing in on it.
A huge business transformation happening in real time. And beyond copyright, we're seeing AI get integrated into really high-stakes fields, government, health.
And at the core infrastructure level, The White House launched the Genesis mission.
Linking national labs with compute from OpenAI, Anthropic, NVIDIA, all to train AI on federal datasets for scientific discovery.
It's a strategic move for national research superiority, and you see the same thing at the Pentagon.
GenAI.mil. Using Google's Gemini for intelligence analysis and strategic planning. These are not small tests, these are foundational shifts.
And in healthcare, the FDA is using agents to streamline drug reviews. But the private sector is where you see the real acceleration.
Chai Discovery raising $130 million.
To tackle undruggable diseases, aiming to cut development cycles from years down to weeks. If they can do that, it's not just an improvement, it's a total reinvention of an industry.
But this is also causing friction in our daily lives. Take Amazon Kindle's new Ask This Book feature.
Right. It answers questions about the plot or characters without spoilers. It sounds convenient.
But authors and publishers are immediately concerned. What about compensation? What about the integrity of the work?
On the other hand, you have genuinely positive leaps, like with Google's voice upgrade.
The live speech-to-speech translation in the Translate app.
It preserves tone, context. It's a huge step towards effortless global communication. And adding Gemini to Maps for hands-free navigation.
Okay, finally, let's touch on the financial friction. Because despite these huge valuations like Databricks, pro investors are nervous.
They are hedging their bets in a big way. They're using credit default swaps, the big short insurance.
And activity in those swaps is up 90% since September.
A staggering number.
So what does that signal to you? Are they worried about overvaluation, a classic bubble, or is it something deeper?
It signals profound anxiety. When you buy 90% more insurance, you are actively betting against a major downturn. Could be a bubble, or it could be that they're worried the sheer speed of this disruption we've been talking about is going to upend so many established businesses that a chaos will just spill over everywhere.
It's a clear sign of uncertainty hiding right below that surface-level hype.
And globally, the impact is already here. Researchers in the UK found over 150 YouTube channels using AI just to spread political misinformation.
Generating over 1 billion views before they were taken down. The scale and speed are just. It's a real battle for democratic integrity.
So after all that, what does this high-velocity week actually mean for you?
It means that these three trends we talked about, capability, agents, and societal collision, they aren't separate things. They're intertwined, and they're accelerating each other.
Absolutely. You have two key unstoppable movements happening at once. First, AI capability is just advancing at an almost incomprehensible speed.
We're solving complex math, designing drugs in weeks, and regulators and creators are just struggling to find stable ground.
And second, the agent revolution is no longer theoretical. These autonomous agents are in high-value, high-risk production roles right now.
In enterprise, in cybersecurity, in government.
So whether you're a developer, a professional, or just a curious consumer, this wave of news means your tools and your digital world are changing fundamentally, and you have to adjust to a new level of speed and risk.
And that discussion about orchestration layers and autonomous agents, it points to a really powerful shift in how we'll work.
Right.
In the near future, you won't just be using a single AI tool. You'll be managing a diverse, specialized team of AI workers, like a manager in an office.
So given that security experts are predicting that this Internet of Agents could surpass human internet traffic by 2026, here's our final provocative thought for you to chew on.
What complex multi-step tasks in your own life, the tedious processes you always put off, will you be the first to delegate to your own personal specialized agent collective?